talked a lot coming into the series about massive experience on Pittsburgh's side, not a lot of experience playoff-wise on the Rangers side. Half the players had never been in a playoff game before. Through 2 games, by and large, those neophyte Rangers have really handled things well. Now it's a completely different and foreign entity in going into another team's building at playoff time. And obviously the Pittsburgh Penguins fans, as passionate as any in the league. How do you think the Rangers handle that element, the emotional element of game 3 on the road?
There's going to be the same charge, but you know what I like about it, John? The underdog feeling. Why has this team performed at such a high level all season? They've had a chip that resides right here on their shoulder. Nobody's given them any respect all season long. You can't beat the good teams. You're only good because of your goalie. You can't fool the boys. They hear all this stuff. And they carry that onto the ice with an attitude. And that's why the group has character, because they've had resolve and they've persevered through the narrative that they are not good enough. And they're going to go into Pittsburgh in game 3 and take charge in the first period because they've done it all year long. They've earned that identity with the deposits they've made all season long. And that's what you carry. That currency is what you have as a group because you've earned it at this point. And I think that this is actually setting them up for success because Pittsburgh got a split. They got what they wanted. The Rangers now have to get a split at the very least, and it goes a long way to win game number 3, get that split, and then get greedy in game 4 and come back and then close it out.
A lot of talk in game 2 and a lot of focus in game 2 on what Artemi Panarin did. First, the giveaway that allowed the Penguins to score and tie the game, and then just his tenacity and his will the rest of the way. He gets a 3-point night in the first start of the game. We've seen all season, Stephen, really during his 3 years as a Ranger, when he starts to roll, it carries over from game to game. Do you sense a 3-point night in which he scored a pivotal goal for the team will become now a catapult for him through the rest of the series, at least to game 3?
You know, John, star players are really tough to figure. You know, they're very moody. Kind of like that girlfriend you date for a while and it doesn't go so well and you want to go in another direction because they're just on and off. You know, I'm sure you've been through a lot of those relationships in your life before you met Jill. I just find that, you know, they're very inconsistent star players. And I think sometimes it's because they are so skilled, and I'm speaking to them as a group right now, they're so skilled that they can get away with certain things. You can cheat the game a little bit and still be okay at the end of the night with 2 or 3 points over a long season. But what Artemi Panarin showed me last night was that when he was on the puck and he was intent and his focus was intent, he drives the play better than anybody when he's a focused Artemi Panarin with intensity. He gave away the puck on goal against Gensel, goal number 1, but how hard did he get back and what were his intentions after the next shift, and then did it carry over to the next shift? You can see it in him. It's his body language. He has a 2nd level of battle and a 3rd level of compete that I think that when he turns that on, the best of him comes out. There's been times this season where he's off because he's just a little casual. He just wants to have a light night, and you watch these playoffs and it really dawns on you quickly that if the play was this intense for 82, you'd finish the season with an AHL lineup.
Yeah. By the way you described those past relationships, I think I was the person on the other end. Maybe. It struck a chord when you started describing it that way. So gut feeling for game 3 on Saturday, not necessarily who's going to win or who's going to lose, but what are the storylines that you think will become most prevalent when we watch on Saturday?
Well, you can't get away from the one that's right in front of us, which is the goalie headline with Louis Domingue. It's extremely rare that in a playoff series you're facing a number 3 goaltender. Extremely rare. So if we're going to look at that for face value, I think that you start the game with the mindset that you don't let him get warm, okay? And I thought the Rangers let Louis off the hook a little bit early in the game, where his first 4, 5, 6 shots were relatively easy, feelers is what we call them. And that's the reason why the Rangers didn't take game number 1, was because the first 3 or 4 shots were easy on him. You let him into the game. I wouldn't let him touch the puck, okay? I would not give him a single shot from the outside. I want Louis Domingue to feel his very first chance a scoring chance. And that's okay if it takes 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Let it marinate, let him worry about it and get in his head a little bit, because if you get to him, you break down the team. If the team believes that Louis can give them a chance to win, they will be in the game, just like they were in game number 2. Like, look, they were in the game. Louis gave them a chance to win in game 2. It wasn't 4-5-0 in the first 10 minutes of the first period. But if you break down Louis, you break down the group, because the belief from the bench and the back pocket excuse can get used, which is we didn't have our top 10 guy, Tristan Jarry. And then we didn't have our solid backup, Casey DeSmith, and we're on number 3. What can we do? You want them to use that back pocket excuse, and the only way you force that hand is you don't let Louis get in the game and make them feel like they have a chance to be in a game. As you get into that first period, it's 2-0 Rangers. You know, you can put the hammer down in the second period, but don't let them off the hook by letting them get warmed up would be my thing.
You and I will be there to talk all about it with Henrik Lundqvist on the pregame show, which begins 6:30 Saturday night on MSG. And then throughout the intermission reports and the postgame, extended 1-hour postgame, Sam and Joe have the call of Game 3, Rangers and Penguins in Pittsburgh. Puck drops just after 7. Looking forward to it, Stevie. Thanks, bud.
Me too. See you, buddy. I can't wait.
Yeah, enjoy, Ranger fans.